Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Introspective Thoughts with your boy Martian, aka the great and powerful Martian, aka the nig that keeps on nigging, aka the bitch that makes the biscuits, aka Deku's evil twin, aka Miss Frizzle's loud pack, aka DJ Run That Back, aka the part-time homosexual, aka your child's favorite teacher, aka Gay Wrongs, aka the stone that the builder dropped. AKA a bad bitch and that nigga, AKA a seat at the table, AKA a child not left behind, AKA the realest nigga that I know, AKA nobody's cup of tea, and AKA the chic of all trades. Welcome to another episode. We back. I told y'all we back like four flats on a Cadillac or like the passenger seat with your nigga and your best friend's ride. Shout out to TLC. And for this episode, I am joined with one of my favorite people. Don't tell nobody else that I told y'all that because some people might feel a way about that, but they already know what it is or what it is. Welcome to the stage and to the platform for the first time, Nathan. What's good, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? I don't know if I'll be able to like top that intro. You just kept going. I said, how many AKAs this man got?
Bro,
Oh,
I told you come up with as many as you got, and all about it off the top of the toe. I don't know what to tell you. So if you can, do
oh,
me a favor, introduce yourself to the people. If you got you some AKAs, let them know what they is, and
so
tell them
I
about
got you.
yourself.
I'll try and match the vibes. You feel me? Uh, how y'all doing? I'm Nathan, AKA the pastor of petty, AKA the noun, the verb, and the problem, AKA the Tylenol you can't swallow. Cause I be. AKA, last but not least, the villain in your vision board. You feel me? Uh,
Now that's fire though. I fucked with it the past the pity. Now I might have to write that one down for myself. Nah, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you keep it. But yeah, tell the people about yourself, where you come from, what you do, all that great stuff, and then we can get into all the little stuff in a second.
well, I'm originally from Ethiopia, out here living in North Carolina now for the past 3, 4 years. College student at NC State, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. If you can see the little paddle over there. Um, but yeah, that's just somebody that loves doing side quests.
No, that's fire. No, somebody that loves doing side quests. Speaking of side quests, you just got me on a whole tangent real quick. Shout out to the king of side quests himself, Snoop Dogg. I want to grow up and be like him one day because it almost seems like we look up every day and Snoop Dogg is doing some other shit. And mind you, this is outside of the him rooting for Donald Trump shit. We gonna pretend like that's not a thing right now. But I think I saw, I don't know who he was talking to. I want to say he was on the 85 South show or something like that. And he was talking to folks and they was asking like how did he get the show with Martha Stewart and stuff like that. And basically, his people talked to her people that got real cool or whatever, and it sprung up into that whatever the name of the show was, like
The
Martha
whole
and
cookbook and
Snoop's,
everything.
yeah, cool
Hmm.
cookbook
And
and
it,
everything. But
yeah,
when I remember when that show first came out, and I was like, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. And then when you sit
Smoke
and
Buddies.
watch it, it was like it was one of the best shows that was on TV at one point in time because the shit was just genuinely fire. Like they
Hmm.
had a genuinely relationship and shit like that. But what's funny is that one of them is a convicted felon and it's not him. But I'm gonna
Hey,
leave that
Martha
where that
Stewart got
stand.
that pimp in her. You feel me?
Does she? I mean,
I'm not well versed in Martha Stewart,
you're not missing
but I
anything.
feel like I feel like one of the reasons why that show was fire was because everything Snoop does, he just like brings his own energy and like his authenticity to it. So like,
That's true.
he just brings a part of himself and tries to like learn something new and like whatever new he does. So like that's probably learns new things by doing new things, essentially.
No, I
That's
see
probably
that.
why he loves side quests.
I see that, and I say, like I said, I just say all of that to say, like, I want to grow up and do side quests for fun. Like,
Same.
yes, please call me and give me $3,000 to fly out here just to stand here and do just in. Yes, this is a bookcase. Yes, this is a hoodie. Yes, these are headphones. Yes, let me call me so I
I'm
can
gonna
do
tell y'all
that.
how to make the best fried bologna sandwich. I think that was like one of the recipes on their cookbook, and it was like some like he, yeah, like
Hold
some
on,
hood
wait.
eats type.
Hold on. Have you had a fried bologna sandwich before?
I've actually never had bologna before.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now I with our history, I understand. I completely understand why. However, um, you have to remind me to make you a fried bologna sandwich one day because that is a Southern delicacy. That is a staple. Like I grew up on fried bologna with it was two pieces of white bread, a piece of fried bologna. You had to put it in the skillet, let it get a little bubble in it, cut a slit in it. It was only the best if it had burn on it, had a little char on it. Take that out the skillet. You can either put some mustard or some mayonnaise on it, but make sure that bread is toasted. That's breakfast, lunch,
And
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 dinner
I
right there.
put the chips, crumble the chips, and then put the chips in
Now
there.
wait, now I wasn't doing all of that. Now neurodivergent. I can't. It's only so many textures that I can do at the same time, and crunchy and soft together. I throw the whole thing up and throw the sandwich out. I don't even want it no more at that point. Fuck all of that. But no, you got to remind me to make you one because some shits is fire. Though. They are fucking amazing. So before we get into what we're gonna talk about today, because I'm gonna warn y'all now one thing that Nathan and I have in common is that we love anime, like seriously, seriously love anime, right? And we gonna just nerd out and talk about that shit today, cause why the fuck not? He and I have been watching a lot of good shit. A lot of stuff has come out recently, and we're gonna talk about anime. But before we get into that, I like to always start out the show with a check-in. How are you? How's life? How's things? Scale of 1 to 10. What is it giving mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally?
I'm great. This summer has been all about like getting the bread up, you know what I'm saying?
Felt.
And just taking a step back and relaxing because it's been a strenuous like semester slash year.
Mm-hmm.
And you always need that breather before hopping back on the grind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all it's been. I just currently finished today's like my last day, was my last day for my internship.
Okay.
So the rest of summer is just pretty much just kick back,
As you should.
just live life, yeah.
As you should. As you fucking should.
So I'm probably at a good like 7 to 8.
Is that all across the board or just that, what aspect?
All across the board, yeah.
I fucks with that. I fucks with that. Oh, so for me myself, I would say that I'm at a good 8 just because um I'm chilling. Life is good. I literally have zero complaints. I'm out here doing great stuff. I'm out here reading great stuff. I'm out here creating great stuff. And I'm kind of looking forward to where the things that I'm creating and doing, like where it's gonna take me and how far it's gonna go. Just because I cut the ball and chain off my foot, some weeks ago, and I'm grateful for that because remind me, I'm talking to the general audience. Remind me to put that as a cry of outrage because we're gonna talk about some shit now that I no longer have that ball and chain on my foot. Oh, I got some shit to talk one day. I just want to space it out and give us some time away. Even though my spirit team was like, I need you to put the shut and the up together. Stop talking about it because it don't matter no more. And I'm like, no, sure. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. However, the way this content is set up, I got my shit to talk, and I'm gonna have to get it off at some point in time. Just how it works. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm in a good space right now. Like I'm trying to figure out. Well, I'm lying. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm waiting on what's next to show up outside of what I'm doing in my personal life, be it with this podcast, be it with TikTok, be it with whatever else I decide to put my hands on. It's like, okay, what's next? Like, and if what's next per se is taking this, sprinting with it, and it gives me everything that I need so I can live the life that I so dreamed of living, which is to work because I want to, not because I have to, then so be it. But until then, I'm enjoying the four corners of this apartment that I pay rent in and the air conditioner that also comes with it in this North Carolina heat because I refuse to sit out in that bullshit if I don't have to. Like that ain't it. So
Listen though, like it's sometimes better than the AC because I be coming in, AC make me feel like I'm sick on the inside. I be coming
see,
out feeling the heat and it feel great.
here
Maybe it's
you
because I'm
go.
from Africa, but you know what I'm saying?
Here you
This, this,
go.
this, the US and AC during the summer, like it's it's something. Like I don't need to y'all
Go ahead, talk your
I
shit.
don't
Go
even know how to
ahead.
say it. I don't even
Talk
know
your
how to say
shit.
it because
No,
like
because I know, but they don't know. Talk your shit. Go ahead.
Cause like think about it, like you're outside, like you got shorts on a shirt and you're like sweating, like coming to class, like
Mhm.
running, and it's like crowded and stuff. You get in class, they're blasting like 60-degree air conditioning in your like face for like an hour or two while you're sitting down for a lecture. Now you're freezing because all you got in 60-degree weather is like shorts and a shirt, right? And now you're feeling like, all right, I'm a little bit cold. You step out and now you like you you dying now. You know what I'm saying? And all those like instant changes in temperature in your body would probably cause you to get sick sometimes. That's probably why you're gonna see like people catching a cold during summer, which is actually crazy.
Well, there's actually more to that. Part of that is because people don't take care of their immune system either, right? And something that I learned during the pandemic actually was that, okay, so y'all just walk with me. I'm about to nerd out for a second, right? If you know just a smidge about the human body, anatomy, biology, all of those great things, right? We got 11 body systems, right? You got the one to deal with your skin, you got the one you got your nervous system, you got your digestive system, your respiratory system, all of that, right? And one thing that I had learned during the pandemic while everybody was catching COVID and I was just sitting in my house twiddling my thumbs watching Netflix because I was taking care of myself, right? Is that your immune system, the thing that keeps you from getting sick or is supposed to prevent you from getting sick, right? Starts in your digestive tract. And if you are putting bullshit into your body, you can't be surprised when you then catch a cold in the summertime, right? And part of that is not even just being cold. I'm not saying you're incorrect, but part of that is not even just being cold. Part of it is because folks don't go outside and put their feet in the grass and get some sunlight because you need vitamin D, right? You don't go touch grass. And I need people to just go touch grass simply, right? But also on top of that, like people are out here worried about life. They stressing. They ain't, feeding themselves properly. Um, they're not taking care of themselves, right? And I'm not even just saying like they don't go to the doctor or they don't, go touch grass. Folks ain't drinking water these days, right? Or they not drinking enough water, or you know, pantry is filled with every color of the rainbow
Red
that's
40.
red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, green 16, purple 27. And it's just like, so you do know you can eat these same colors naturally, right? From a tree or from a plant, right? You do know you can do these things. I don't want to do that because it ain't that good. Well, that's another issue. Cause sound like you got parasites, but we're gonna leave that where they're staying. But my point is that a lot of people don't, take care of themselves like that, which is why they end up getting sick like that. But at the same time, to the other part of why I have a slight bit of pushback is that you live in this United States Southern humid heat long enough, and you'll shut up real quickly about how cold it is in some of these buildings. You just learn that depth at that point, because fuck this bullshit. Anytime I tell people all the time, if it's anything above 83 degrees, I'm sorry, the likelihood of me going outside drops about 10% with each degree it gets hotter, because I'm simply not doing it. I can't. I'm so sorry, I can't. So, but I get it. It makes sense. So
It's that
yeah,
feeling of like nasty that you get once you like step out and then step back in because it's like an instant change. You feel me?
no, that's real.
Sometimes you get like a shivering sensation in your body and you be like, oh, that feels nasty. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I also like when I'm in a cold building and I have my body has a process like, ooh, it's freezing in here, right? Like, which
Yeah.
crazy enough, you talking to somebody who was born in the middle of an ice storm, real bad ice storm. So I like it. Coldest month of the year. I enjoy it. Like my house is on 70 degrees right now, which is why I have a hoodie on because I'm like, I like it cold personally. But when I go outside and the sun start hitting, I'm like, ooh, wait a minute now. I don't know what I was missing. It feel good out here. And then that lasts for all of about 90 seconds. And I'm like, all right, that's enough, son. Going back in the house now. That's enough. We're good. We're good. Because the son is out here like, I'm the realest nigga that you know. You are absolutely correct. And there's no argument about that. You are absolutely correct. We will not debate these things. So, all right, y'all, let's take a quick break and we're going to get into this anime shit and we'll be back. Be great. And we're back, like four flats on a Cadillac, back here with Nathan. So he has something that he found interesting that he wants to talk about. So in case y'all haven't paid attention to the last episode that came out, you should go back and watch it first and foremost, because what a time was had. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, what a time was had, I dragged the fuck out of Jackie Hill Perry and old boy from 2819 Church because what do you mean children deserve to die because they don't believe in Jesus? What is that? What does that mean? Like what does that mean, girl? Like and I didn't even really rip into her like I wanted to because you can't be sitting here talking about people deserve to die and you cosplaying as a straight woman. But that's not my business. I'm gonna leave that where that stands. So, uh, Nathan, what you got? You said something about a pope and some things. What's going on here? What did I
Um,
miss?
I don't know if y'all recall, like the audience in general, but like when the last pope, I don't remember his name because I'm Orthodox. I don't really like clock into like the Vatican, like the Catholic people. Um, when they were picking, there was like a fan favorite going around like the social medias, the black guy who was somewhere from an African country that I believe he like was born there in Africa, was raised some and then like moved permanently to like Italy. So he was part of like the original like the Vatican all over like in Italy, right? And like people were saying, yeah, it might be time for like a black pope, right? But instead they, they picked the Pope from 63rd, you feel me? Like, like
That's
they
it.
picked
O Block. We going straight to O Block.
they picked the Pope, they picked King Von's best friend. Anyways, there was I don't recall, maybe it was when I was doom scrolling on TikTok or something, but there was this it was something I read that there was about like 400,000 cases of people that have authority in church, like abusing their power to like assault children and stuff. And I was like, and the theory kept going that if they picked the black guy to be the Pope, like with his strong like African roots and stuff like that, like touching children anywhere isn't acceptable to begin with. But like
Right.
it's like very strong in like places that are like high community in Africa where like the neighbor the neighbor is pretty much like an uncle of mine. So if he sees me like not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like you can get lectured by your neighbor or like so and so like village, right? They said like he'd come in and like clean up house, you know what I'm saying? But they ended up picking like somebody that was from the US and there's something like a little bit more digestible from somewhere like where it's so common. You know what I mean? Kind of get what I'm saying. I found it kind of interesting. I was like, ain't no way. I didn't do research on it myself, but I was like, ain't no way there's about like 400,000 cases of children being assaulted in the church and nobody's really looking into it. That's kind of crazy.
But at the same time, it's not shocking too, though, considering the history of the Catholic Church, right? Now,
Yeah.
y'all know I'm a history major, history nerd, used to teach history. The Catholic Church, and we have to go back to like the Holy Roman Empire, we have to go back to the Roman Empire, we have to go back to the days of Jesus, right? The amount of monstrosities is not the word that I want to use, but it's the word that's coming up right now that have taken place in the Catholic Church just over the last thousands of years at this point, or at least centuries at this point, right? Is one. believable to hear that all of these things is going on. But two, it's not really hidden and it's not an unknown thing. It's like hidden in plain sight, per se, right? Like you can go to certain places in the Vatican or in Italy or wherever, and you can see relics, you can see statues, you can see iconography of things like that, of like indecent shit being done to children or being done to other people, right? But even if we come into the today of things, and y'all know I grew up Missionary Baptist Church, right? I grew up in a church where I'm not gonna say people were being taken advantage of, but I could see from other denominations or through people who were participating in, let's say, the Church of God in Christ. No shade at them because they already got enough shit going on over there, but they are in these churches, they are in these denominations that quite literally are, taking advantage of them. There's pedophilia that's running rampant. You got the pastor having sex with the choir directors and the ministers of music, and you got people, diddling everybody before, they are found out, per se, right? If you remember Bishop Eddie Long, I know some of y'all ain't seasoned enough to know who in the hell that is, but go back and look at some of the history with Bishop Eddie Long and what was going on with them. It was alleged that James Cleveland, one of the great gospel singers, had something to do with some stuff like that. It was also alleged that Donnie McClurkin also was in that same boat too, right? Um, and so with that being the case, like it's just something that we gotta like one acknowledge is a real thing, but two also, it's not shocking that is a thing too, right? Especially because there's a lot of translations of the Bible that are not in alignment with what the original Hebrew text is, which I don't think anybody truly knows what it says. But at the same time, too, though, it's something that needs to be addressed, not even just in our community, but also just in general. So it doesn't shock me, is what I'm trying to say. Like, don't none of this shock me as a whole, but here we are. So, um, great thoughts, great points. I'm interested to kind of see like where the new pope kind of takes us. I don't know. To me, when you a figurehead of something, you just the person that is running the show and the things just keep going. I don't.
You're just the face of it. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes in the background that people don't even know.
Quite literally, and people don't think about it in that way either. Like, and the same thing could be said about the president. The same thing could be said about, the school system. The same thing could be said about a number of different things where you're just the figurehead. You are just the person in charge of a system, excuse me, regardless of what that system is doing, be it good or bad, ugly and indifferent or
Mhm.
whatever. So yeah, great things. Great things to think about. So let's go ahead and jump into this anime conversation real quick, Um, two things. Number one, what have you been watching lately?
So I've noticed like at the beginning of the like fiscal year, I'm
Uh-huh.
assuming like the companies in Japan trying to like get paid. I don't know what's been going on, but like so much heat been dropping lately. I can't even lie to you. Um, I've been watching latest drops. I've been watching like this anime called The Devil May Cry.
Okay.
It's like it's this insane story about this like the fact that hell isn't really hell, but it's like a second dimension that is connected to Earth, but
Mm-hmm.
like one of hell's like knights um decided to decided to side with Earth and then like used his power to like cut the connection between these two dimensions. So like devils or like people from Makai, that's what they call the second dimension, don't
Mm-hmm.
like come in and like destroy everything, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then that guy ended up having like a kid with a woman, and then they made like a essentially like a hybrid between a demon and human and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And there's the plays on the whole thing about racism. I realized a lot of anime really plays a lot about racism and like how the downtrodden really like come up to like, you know, against the odds, beat the bad guys.
Yeah. I've also noticed that too. I've noticed that a lot of anime tackles a lot of social issues, and I just find it interesting that anime is doing a lot more work than some people who are in government elected positions. But that's, more on that later. But I find it interesting that that is a thing as a whole. Because that's not even the real reason, like for me, why I got into anime. I liked it because it's like, ooh, action, ooh, cartoon, ooh, fast
Hands,
paced.
just straight
Your hands
hands.
just straight being thrown, depending on the anime that you watch. Because there is some animes that shit don't be happening that are like that. It'll still be like,
Slice of
oh,
life.
it's good. But and I would also say argue Food Wars too, because Food Wars ain't no hands thrown. The hands are thrown in the kitchen, and as a nigga that cook, that's my favorite type of hands. And I get to eat, cool. But that's one of the reasons why have always kind of liked anime, and I'm glad that I got back into anime as I got older, because I don't know what happened between um I'm gonna say like age 12 or 13 to about 27, 28. I don't know what happened in between those years where I just kind of like fell out of watching anime. But I'm glad that I picked it back up because it's a lot of good shit out here that don't get talked about, right? And so leads me to the second thing of what we're gonna talk about is our top five lesser known animes. And I'm gonna tell you why I like these certain things without spoiling it so y'all could go listen and watch yourself. But also, why it's good to me, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ping pong back and forth. We're gonna talk about why we like this anime, what it's giving, and then kind of give it a rating out of 1 to 10 and see how we feel about it, right? So first on my list, right, is something that I just started watching recently is Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days, that shit is fire. I'm
I'll wait.
like, when I say out the gate, hands, 5 minutes into the anime, hands, right?
Hmm.
So to give you kind of a synopsis of what the anime is about, it's basically this assassin that's retired. He got married. He didn't have a child. He laying low. He living a life. He run a convenience store and stuff like that. But he still got people who still trying to come after him. They got a bounty on his head. They trying to take him out, right? Now, behind every great man is a great woman, right? In this case, it's his wife. She told him, I don't care about you throwing hands. You just better not kill nobody. And a lot of people is like, what's she gonna do about it? Oh, you find out very quickly what she can and will do about it. If she found out that he killed somebody. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, Chi Chi, Goku's wife, she's that level of crazy. His wife is that level of crazy. Maybe a little
Hmm.
bit more, right? But she's that level of crazy, right? And so with that, uh, if I had to give it a rating, like they pissed me off for a little bit because they put me on like a little 3, 4 week hiatus. It wasn't feeding me what I needed, and I was like, no, you can't just leave me
Hmm.
hanging like this. And so I would have to give it like a solid 8 just because of the action and what it's giving. What
Yeah.
you got?
Just started watching it like a couple of days ago. There's this anime that released a while ago, probably during COVID. It's like The Rise of the Shield Hero.
Okay.
It's basically this guy that lived like a normal life. He ends up getting like thrown into a game. It's pretty much like Sword Art Online, like them kids that be getting thrown into games and all of a sudden it's like role playing like magic, medieval times type. But this one is like there are four cardinal heroes and they gotta like work together to like beat the waves, which is pretty much like zombie monsters coming and everything. Um, I like it because it keeps talking about the same thing. My first anime was Naruto. I actually used to make fun of kids that watch anime when I was a kid. I can't even lie to you.
And meanwhile, I did too. Meanwhile, I was watching Dragon Ball Z, but at the same time, I also don't understand how you niggas watch Naruto. I still cannot get into that damn anime for the life of me. Keep going, ignore me.
Yeah. And then I turned like 14, mind you, like when I was growing up, there was these kids like doing the whole Naruto run and everything around me, and I'm like, y'all geeking out. Like, what y'all doing? Like, you feel me?
Looking like
That was
Sonic the
around the same time.
Hedgehog.
Um, but then I watched my first episode of Naruto, and I said, oh my goodness, like this some good. Oh my God, you feel me?
Feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
Um, so the more I look into it, a lot of the animes I really mess with lately, or like in general, been like Naruto-esque
Hmm.
shows where it's like the guy starts off decent. People hate him for some reason that's not like his own. And he like comes above that, which is essentially talking about just the struggle of man and life, just living life and trying to like keep you up, right? I give it a 9.
Okay.
It did better than Sword Art Online because I started it and I just fell out. I was like, y'all doing too much.
No, I feel you on that too. I feel that. I like that. So, so my next on my list, and this is actually one of my favorites from way back in the day, and I need to go back and watch this again. It's called Kakeguri. And Kakeguri, I'm sorry. If you want some
Fire.
cutthroat shit, that is I'm sorry. That's a 10 out of 10. I'm gonna get my rating immediately. That's a 10 out of 10. I'm gonna
I
tell
agree
you
with
why.
you.
Because this anime is quite literally about high school students that gambling, and we talking about real money. Like we talking about think of private school kids wearing the uniforms, with the ties and suit jackets, all of that. Think about that, right? We talking about old money type of money. These folks is out here playing casino games, out here betting on each other, and they dropping M's on people, right? And if you ain't got the money, you basically end up becoming that person's slave until your debt is worked off. So, like, if let's say me and Nathan play Uno, and I put up 5 M's, he put up 5 M's, and whoever wins Uno best 2 out of 3 make the money. If Nathan put up 5 M's and only got 3 of them bitches, he still owe me two. So either somebody else is gonna have to buy out his debt, or he gonna have to figure a way to make that money and get it to me, so he can then no longer be my slave at that point, right? But what's so interesting is like the main character, she's the new girl coming in. She don't really know how to school operate and shit like that. She don't know the culture like this. She comes off as this very sweet, innocent girl, and she come in the door, and everybody think, oh, this bitch ain't on this. She ain't gonna do this, and the third. She come in there, smoke everybody on day one, and you like, bitch, what the fuck? What happened? How did she? What is going on? And when I say that's probably been one of my favorite animes that I watched when I got back into it, it was one of them ones. It's only like what 8, 10 episodes or something like that, which
That's not
pissed me
far.
off. But the fact that you got all of that done in 10 episodes, it's like nah, that go in the Hall of Fame for me of like best animes off real. Ain't nobody fighting. It's just straight bitch run me my money and what's up.
Gun girl. He's a
So
gun girl. Russian
yeah.
roulette.
Yeah, so like immediately 10 out of 10, like favorite anime off top. Like if you want some good shit, like I remember one of my homies I had put him on, he was like, I'm trying to get in the anime, and I told him this is one of the ones that you need to watch, especially because you like going to the casino and you like gambling and shit like that. This one of the ones you need to watch just because you may learn a thing or two out of this. Honestly. If I'm gonna be honest, you might learn some shit, but you also be like, damn, this bitch cutthroat as fuck. How the fuck we? Yeah, shit's fire. What you got?
This is an anime I watched way back in the day.
Okay.
It's called like Darling in the Franxx. Uh, I'll give it another 9 out of 10. It's like how can I even explain this? It's like people found the source to immortality, but then they were monsters, like they were like alien monsters that they still had to fight, but they didn't feel like fighting it. So they essentially like lab grew. kids because they couldn't have kids anymore. That was like the price of immortality, right? Like
Hmm.
your reproductive, the whole reproductive stuff, like gone.
Hmm.
So they're like genetically made kids that's supposed to die at age of 13. So they could keep like use them as soldiers. When they turn 13, they keel off and they make more to keep fighting the aliens while they live underground a cushy life. And it's sick. But it's it's like an action anime, but slice of life at the same time. I don't know how to, you just gotta watch it.
Yeah, you might have to send me
You
that
gotta
one.
watch to understand.
You're gonna have to send me the name of it because I'm just like I don't know. I don't know if I like it, but I might have to like it.
You're gonna have to, it's like one of those short animes too. It's like
Okay.
under 20 episodes, something like that. It's like a it's like a light watch, but it's definitely like at the end, I wasn't satisfied with how it ended. I just needed more, you feel me?
Hmm. No, that's real. Okay. I
Hmm.
fucks with that. Next on my list, also something that I just watched recently. It's called Judy Tyson, The Zodiac War.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another one that's a 10 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry, it's 10 out of 10, right? And it's 10 out of 10 for me because that's one of the ones straight out the gate throwing hands, right? But here's the premise of it. So the Junior Tyson, like the name of it, is basically essentially a competition where rich people are coming together and they bet money on who's the best warrior out of the people that are picked, right? So you got 12 different warriors and they represent each individual piece of the Chinese zodiac. So of course you got a dog, you got the ox, you got the chicken, you got a boar, you got a horse, so on and so forth, right? And so we come out the gate learning about, the people, how they got into the Junior Tyson, their backgrounds and stuff like that. But not even like 3 minutes in, somebody already got their head rolling on the floor. And it's like, what the fuck happened here? Like, nigga, what you mean he dead already? But you don't figure out how he ended up getting killed until later, right? But what I enjoyed about that anime is not even just the hands of aspect, it's the fact of like, because for me, anime is very spiritual. Like I pull a lot of codes, a lot of cheat codes, a lot of downloads, a lot of spiritual life. Like if any of y'all have been around me, or if you read any of my books, or you've listened to me on any podcast that I put on, y'all know I'm gonna drop a word. I don't never come with one. I just keep one in the chamber, right? And so a number of things that I've learned has come from anime, right? And so one of the things that came from anime came from this one in particular that I enjoyed was not even just the fighting aspect, but it's like when you see how people were fighting in the anime, it's like you can see the different like characteristics or traits that go along with their zodiac sign, if that makes
Their
sense, right?
personality like comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes out like really, really well, but it's also some plot twists in there because the people that you thought was gonna win was probably dead within 1 or 2 episodes. And you like, bitch, the nigga that I was sitting here trying, I was rooting for, got his head splattered on the fucking concrete. What do you
Straight
mean?
Hunger Games.
It literally, basically, at that point, like it's an animated Hunger Games at that point, and it's so beautifully shot too. Like it's like it's almost like think of any like kind of like a melee fighting game. Like think of your Mortal Kombat or think of
Hmm.
your Super Smash Brothers where you are in places that exist in like other games or in real life, but ain't nobody there. It's just
It's
the
because they
niggas is
rented
fighting.
out that whole city and like
Yeah.
evacuated it. Yeah.
Evacuated everything. So they got nothing but space and opportunity at that point, right? And so with this space and opportunity being a thing, it's like it's no holds bar at that point. But you could
Hmm.
also see like the characteristics of the fight style, like they literally can show you their strategy, their skill, and what made them be selected for the Junior Tyson. So definitely go watch that one because that's another 10 out of 10. I think it's only like 12 or 13 episodes, but it's one of them ones you can watch that shit in a day. And it's like, no, I need more of that. I need a season two or something ASAP because this is fire.
Also lets you peek into like people's psyche. Cause I,
Yes.
yeah, cause it like
Yes.
really reads like the type of people that are there and like the reason why they're like that, and
Mm-hmm.
the faults and the benefits of being people of such. It's like
Yeah.
reflect. It's a reflective anime for sure.
Yeah. I fucks with it big time. Like it's one of the ones. I think
It's
that was
fun.
one of the ones I put you on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And you see why I immediately was like, nah, you gotta watch this shit. You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
What you got, man? What's next on your list?
Erased. I'll give this one a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it might be like one of the only 10 out of 10s on my list too, because it's like slice of life and action at the same time, but more slice of life until like you get into the end and like
Hmm.
it's pretty much this guy wakes up and he's like back into his like 10-year-old self.
Okay.
And he's like investigating a death of a girl that like broke his heart back in the day.
Okay.
Like her death broke him.
Okay.
So like he somehow traveled back in time, like off of a nap, and then like goes into trying to figure out what happened, right? And it goes like detective, but it's like he's still a 10-year-old man. He's a 10-year-old, he has a 10-year-old's body, but he's like 28 years old in his head, you feel me? So it's like Detective Conan in all honesty. Yeah, that's the closest thing I can explain it to. It's like Conan. But it's pretty fire because it gives you like the whole story and like really dives into each character. A
Okay.
plot twister. Not many animes give me plot twists lately, but that one
That's
definitely
true.
gave me a plot twist.
That's true. That makes sense. I fuck with that. I fuck with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Rounding out my list, I got two more. One of them has become one of my favorites since the pandemic, and there was a portion of which I couldn't watch it because it was on Netflix, and Netflix had me fucked up because you thought I was gonna pay 17.99 to watch some anime. That I'm sorry, you have to be smoking the finest dick if you think I'm about to do that. I'm just simply not doing that, right? But then I found this website. Shout out to my little brother for putting me on because he also is an anime nerd too, right? Which I honestly think you and my little brother would actually get along. Y'all would look, y'all energy bounces off each other, right? But he put me onto this website and I was able to catch back up on Black Butler, right? Now I know some people have had mixed feelings and reviews about Black Butler, but Black Butler is actually one of my favorite animes simply because of the storyline of the plot, right? Now, this isn't one of the ones I give a 10 out of 10. I may give it an 8 out of 10, right? Because the plot line, the story is good, but it gets predictable after a while, right? It's kind of like One Piece for me, where you kind of know, like every arc, okay, they stumble upon the island, they go look for it. Zoro's gonna get lost at some point in time.
The
Nami's trying
scheme's
to get
right
rich,
there.
right? Nami's trying to get rich. Sanji trying to go find a bad bitch. Robin just go
A
take
couple
off.
of them.
You don't see her for 17 episodes. Chopper is still on the damn boat. Brooke is out somewhere doing something else. And then Luffy, of course, we gonna get to towards the end of the arc. Luffy gonna whoop that nigga ass, and then we're going on to the next
To
island,
getting its
right?
ass whooped first time.
To get his ass whooped the first time, to then come back and whoop the nigga ass, right? It
Hmm.
gets predictable after a
But
while.
it's still fun to watch
But
though.
it's still good, right? Don't get me wrong, right? That's why
Hmm.
I said it gets an 8 out. Black Bullet per se gets an 8 out of 10 for me because it gets predictable. Like, so the kind of premise of this is like you have CL Phantom Hive, the main character. He essentially is an orphan. His parents died in like a house fire or some shit like that, and he makes a deal with a butler who also technically has happens to be a demon, right? And they basically sign a spiritual contract, and the butler, what is the butler's name? Sebastian. His job is to basically protect CL Phantom Hive, right? Which sidebar, I don't know how I quite feel about this, but I think the butler technically got a little thing for CL, and CL's like a 13-year-old. And so I'm just like, this is a little weird. I don't know. I can't confirm it, but it's a little weird for me. But the the plot, not even just the story, but the plot of it gets very interesting because it's also like a murder mystery type situation, type anime, right? And CL is serving as Queen Elizabeth, may she rest in peace, serving as her guide dog, right? As her guard dog, excuse me. And if anything happens, under her reign or something like that, his job is to essentially go figure it out, solve the case, and then go on about his day. But again, he's a teenager. He can only do so much. He ain't really got no powers like that except for money. That's capitalism, right? And essentially, Sebastian is the person that is tending after him, but also is the one that's saving the day, right? So if you just want something with a good storyline, you like murder mysteries type situation, Black Butler would be there, but it's also kind of like a supernatural type thing. So it's a really dope anime overall. Like I said, I give it an 8 out of 10. I know some people got like mixed reviews about the anime as a whole, but it's just like give it a shot. It's got like 5 seasons on it, and it's to me it's pretty good. Like if you can sit there and watch American Horror Story, you can sit and watch Black Butler. Personally, I think so.
One of my other ones is Dorohedoro. How many people I've talked to about anime really like watch this? It was
Mhm.
like I think it was on Netflix a while ago, and I just like watched it just 'cause. And it's pretty much about like people who use there's like this magical power. It's like it's called smoke. Like it just comes out your body, and it's like everybody who has it has a unique power to them. Like this one guy, he like secretes smoke from his like body, like just through his mouth and stuff. But like it just creates straight mushrooms
Okay.
and just like unique like powers just as that. Um, and it's like there are people that have it and people that don't, and people that have it are like put as mages or people with like magical users, and they're like put into like a whole different world and separated from like the non-magic users. And then there's like this like mafia kind of family, which is run by the guy that secretes the mushroom stuff, and it's just their adventures as a family, like the family that you weren't born with, but you know the family that chose you at the end of the day.
Right.
That's it. That's all it is.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay. My last one that I got on here is something that I kind of watched within like the last year, and this isn't one of them like straight out the gate, hands ones. This is one of the ones that you ain't gonna see. Well, I'm lying. You are gonna see some fighting in this, but it's not like fighting like you think, right? My last one that I have on my list of kind of like quietly known animes is Death Parade, right?
mhm.
If you haven't seen Death Parade, that's one of them ones that actually kind of make you step back and like reanalyze your life type situations, right? So the basic premise of that is that you got two people who died roughly around the same time, right? They go into this bar, which essentially is the throne room of Judgment Day, right? Judgment Day we talk about in the Bible and stuff like that, right? And so they go to this bar and they end up playing a game. And they play the game that they end up playing, the intentionality behind it is to reveal like who they truly were when they were living, right? So this is part of Judgment Day for you, or what would be judgment for you, right? And so they so whatever it's determined, the outcome of the judgment determines whether or not you get reincarnated or you are sent to hell per se, right? And like I said, it's one of those ones that it'll make you really just kind of sit and think about life and like how you move in a day-to-day, type of situation. But it also kind of gives you a idea of what the afterlife could look like or what judgment day could look like depending on your belief system and things like that. But what I really truly liked about the anime was one the game aspect of it because I was like I ain't never think of Judgment Day like a niggas fix and play darts and that's how you finna determine if I'm going to hell or not. Actually, no, sign me up for that. I'm probably gonna lose the dart game because I can't shoot darts, but sign me up for this. If that's what it's
At least I have a
giving,
chance.
and I got a chance, right? Just don't tell me, ooh, nigga, you gotta hit a bullseye or you going to hell with bitch. I'm sorry, I just give up. My aim is not
The
that great.
bartender kind of like reminds you of like the Egyptian mythology god Anubis.
Mm-hmm.
And the games are like him weighing your heart against a feather and seeing if you're guilty or like your heart's heavier than a feather.
Hmm.
That's kind of like what it reminded me of. To
Yeah.
find out that there were multiple of them just like happening simultaneously. I just found that interesting.
Yeah, and so that's like I said, that was one of the reasons why I kind of like the anime so much, is because it broadens your perspective, right? And it also makes you kind of want to do some research too. Like you said, God Anubis, like a lot of people don't look into other gods, and that's due to Christianity as a whole being very strict about what it is that you can look into or research and stuff like that. But and it's not even just Christianity, it's Islam too. Um, but it definitely kind of broadens your perspective of like what other people's belief systems are, but also like what all of this could potentially be, because you never know. Judgment Day may not be you standing in front of a court full of witnesses saying, yes, I'm guilty of doing X, Y, Z. It could simply be, let's just play a game of Uno. And let me see how you gonna respond or react to me hitting you with this draw forward. You know, which I'm pretty sure every black person on the face of this planet will immediately go to hell. Cause bitch, you hit me with a draw forward, I'm calling you everything but a child of God. Fuck that. But I would get at anime as a whole like an 8 out of 10. It's also one of those kind of like less than 20 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Something you can finish in like a day or two, but like it's one of those definite perspective broader type situations. And like I said, you're not without hands being thrown. It's just hands that are thrown in a different way, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So
Mental hands.
sure, let's go with that. I like that. Let's go with that.
My last one is Haiku.
Okay.
It's straight out the gate, 9.5. It's a volleyball anime. That's all it is, in all honesty. It's the short kid that has an insanely high vert that just wants to play volleyball, but like people saying he's short so he can't really play.
Hmm.
And all he has to him is jumping high. So like he has this one skill that he has to capitalize on for a whole game. He just wants to win. That's all it is. But it's like it's fun just watching them play. I enjoy sports animes. Like they're fun when they're done right. Like like Kuriko's basketball was like a fight like basketball anime. People want to
Hmm.
tap into that. But like just sports animes are really out there. But like they're fun if you do them right. Blue Lock for soccer, stuff like that. But straight out the gate, Haiku 9.5, you just gotta watch it. Just enjoy just kids being kids and playing volleyball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real. I like that. I like that. Well, that's our roundup of our animes. Thank you for participating in this and humoring me. God damn, that's a
Rant.
yeah,
It's
that's
rant.
right. Straight up just going off, right? We're gonna take another quick break and then we're gonna get into my favorite portion of this program, the cries of outrage. We'll be back. Per usual, be great. Welcome back, y'all. And it is now time for the cries of outrage. So what I just discovered during this break is that both of us have a similar crime outrage. And so I'm gonna just go and get into it. This crime outrage and kind of a fuck you goes to the state of North Carolina. Cause bitch, you got me fucked up with these property taxes on this car. You simply got me fucked up. Okay, so let's back up, right? So y'all know property taxes, right? You pay, which hold on. First of all, taxes are bullshit. Let me start there in first and foremost, right? Because the whole reason why this country got founded was off of taxation without representation. And meanwhile, we have representation that is not really representing us, and there's still taxes that are out the ass that are not going to the things that we need, especially considering the administration that we have in play right now, right? Now, I know taxes are going to vary, state by state, municipality by municipality, county by county, city by city, town by town, but also on the federal level, we all paying some stupid shit. And with the now the introduction and now soon to be signed in law, if it hasn't been done so by the time that this episode comes out, quote unquote big beautiful bill that's quite literally finna raise taxes for everybody except for like the rich 1%. Bitch, what the fuck am I paying for? So now, property taxes, right? Most of y'all are aware that you pay property taxes on your house if you own a house, right? And if you don't pay your property taxes, your house can be seized even if your house is completely paid off, right? And said property taxes are supposed to go and help fund the education in the schools that are in your area, which depending on the city that you live in and the neighborhood that you live in, it's like, okay, so where's my money going? Because this school has been falling apart for the last 50 years and it was built 51 years ago. What's going on here? It's not making sense. And y'all know I can go on a full rant about that as a former teacher because I got time for it. But for North Carolina in specific, don't y'all know that these raggedy motherfuckers got the audacity to make us pay property taxes on a vehicle, even if we own the motherfucker? And when I say pay property taxes, y'all know we got to get the little sticker to go on our license plates and shit like that to say we renewed our registration. Bitch, I can't get my little sticker, which I looked at my bill. My little bill for the registration is like 60 something dollars, which, okay, sure. I'm not upset about that, right? Because back when I lived in Memphis, mind you, I was born and raised in Memphis, I was paying like 120 for that little sticker. But that's because Memphis was on some classist bullshit and economics is stupid over there, right? North Carolina, however, they decided that we're going to tell you how much your vehicle is worth, and then you have to pay a percentage of that to us in property taxes, along with the registration, so you can get the little sticker, and it's only good for 1 year. So when I first bought my car and got it registered here in North Carolina last year, I paid $300 in property taxes. And I was like, what the fuck is that going to? When meanwhile, I-40 still looks like a cheese grater. What are you talking about? What are you saying to me right now?
Whole lot of orange cones.
A whole lot of orange cones and not enough of them bitches being picked the fuck back up. Don't y'all know that these motherfuckers had the audacity to tack on another $34 to my property tax bill this year? And I'm like, once again, whose salary am I paying? Because it's not mine. What's happening? What's going on here? So my cry of outrage is simply, as I said before. I don't know which episode I said this on. I know I said this on TikTok. I want the downfall of capitalism to happen yesterday. I need it to happen yesterday. I need it to happen last week because I'm sick of paying money for things that I can't even use or sitting here paying money for shit that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And you got these rich bitches out here sitting here charging motherfuckers $17 for a square of toilet paper and then out here taking this money and sending shit into space and it ain't even going no fucking where.
Don't even know our own ocean.
Like, what are we doing here? What am I paying for? North Carolina. What am I paying for? Where is this money going? I should be able, if I'm gonna pay 300 and some damn dollars for fucking property tax, which bitch, that's a third of my fucking rent. Which that's an issue in and of its own goddamn self, right? I need to be able to pull up an app on this telephone here, which T-Mobile, I'm on your ass next to. Not today though. I should be able to pull up a goddamn app on this telephone here and say, I want this money that I'm paying y'all to renew this goddamn tax to go to the following things, not to some shit that you just feel is convenient, i.e., your pockets, to put this shit in. Because what y'all fail to fucking realize is if we just go back about 200 and some change years ago, which I said this in the last episode talking about Uranus going into Gemini and how that literally is what led to a lot of wars and things like that. The last time Uranus was in Gemini, that's when heads literally started rolling. Y'all remember that time that France pulled out guillotines and was chopping niggas' heads off? Yeah. Mm-hmm. We can go back to that soon. I'm done.
The song J. Cole made in that KOD album, Brackets,
Mm-hmm.
talks about a story of how this young kid got killed with like gun violence that was happening on the street. And
Mm-hmm.
he was just a passerby. He was just
Mm-hmm.
going coming from school to home. And he's talking about how he said a bar like, I pay taxes, so much taxes, shit don't make sense. Where do my dollars go? You see, lately I ain't been
Mm-hmm.
convinced, right? And then he keeps going on about like the school system.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say the dollars that I make sure I spend get sent hiring some teachers that don't look like them. You see, the curriculum be tricking them dollars I spend got them teaching them like the heroes with the lighter skin.
Mm-hmm.
And then keeps talking about like the money he spends in his taxes goes back recycled into gun companies that go back into his neighborhood, putting people on t-shirts, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes right back to like the mom that's like mourning her child.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, as she's wiping the tears from her eyes, she remembers that she got to pay her taxes. And that's how he ends the song. And I was like, that's a very profound song to even think about because he's literally saying one of the bars he said was like it's 2016 or 2018, whenever he made the song, probably 2018. Let me pick the things I'm funding from an app on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so like, why can't I do that already? You feel me? Like, but yeah, that's very interesting. Something I found very interesting too, as somebody that's like not from here, like trying to like adjust and everything. It was me trying to like get my social security, my driver's license, everything situated here. I go into like the DMV and there's like, well, we can't let you stay here unless like you have a proof of residence and like a social security or whatever. But I'm like, okay, well, like they said over apartment, like if I wanted to like pick an apartment, I need like a social security and a driver's license. It's you know what I'm saying? And it's like this whole thing of like, you need this, but you need this. And then you go to this place where you're trying to get this, and they're like, but you need this and this. But I just came back from the DMV and they said I need a social security. So I go to social security, but they said, oh, you need a driver's license. I said, oh, so where am I going? You feel me?
Right.
And it's actually so hilarious after I got the whole thing situated, which is terrible. That was a lot of work. The school hits me up and I'm like, are you still looking for a social security? I said, what? Like months later, y'all actually wondering what's going on. Like, come on now. Like, it's been a whole semester passed, and you're asking me, like, oh, we have the ability to like reserve social security, like appointments for international students. But I'm like, oh, but I just like went there really early and like figured it out because y'all were no help. But thank you though. System just very interesting, but that's like from an outsider, and I understand that it's not built for people from the outside to come here. But
I which I'll say to add to this, right? North Carolina DMV just got to do better in general because
insane.
like that's just insane. The fact that you have to set an appointment and you can't get an appointment like for
The
literally
next three
6 months
months.
out, 3 to 6 months out.
Hmm.
Everybody across the state is booked.
Yeah,
And then
but I
if
also
you,
think it's because I've noticed that North Carolina is a like developing state in the sense that everything is growing around here. So there's a lot of people coming in. When I was waiting in that line, I had to wake up at like 5 something
yep,
to like get in the
same,
line for DMV, and I was like second in place. You know what I
same.
mean? Um, so I noticed that a majority of the people in the line were internationals, just like me, that were like hired by outside companies to come in and like do the work, right? And that makes you realize that, oh, North Carolina is like one of those states that is up and coming. So like the DMV is bound to like be crazy for government offices in general.
Well, you would think that if that's the case and you up and coming, let's create more roles, jobs, positions to
Infrastructure,
do
please.
do the things, but that makes too much sense in the United States. That makes way too much sense. Jobs, infrastructure, what's that? We don't know
That's
what
money
that
being
is.
out.
No, we're not trying to give out money. We're trying to make more money. No, they're not. They don't get no fuck about that. But then inconvenience everybody else in the process. And again, this is going to be something that we have to table this crowd outrage for later because I could go on a whole rant about this. y'all do realize y'all being Congress people, you do realize the same way that y'all tried to get that motherfucker out the office, y'all can get got out the office too, right? Your seat ain't guaranteed. Let's remember that. You can get ghost too. Let's remember that. And I'm gonna keep it cute and I'm gonna keep it right there. So thank you so much, Nathan, for coming through for this episode of Introspective Thoughts. I appreciate you coming through and talking nerdy shit with me and going on this rant about the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles that can see at least a third layer of hell with me because that's bullshit. Uh, with that being the case, do you have any parting words, final words for the people before we get up out of here?
I appreciate you for having me. It's been very fun, filling people with these rants of anime with you.
Yeah.
Because I was like 50% of the thing. I was like, oh, we ranting about this. This is like back in MSA where we sitting on the couch just ranting.
I mean, that's
And
what
it's
we do.
vibes, right?
That's what I do,
We just
y'all.
recorded this time.
Yeah, it's just on wax this time. Nothing big,
Right.
right? This is normal. This is what me and him do. So, but
Regular
thank you
conversation.
again. Yeah, but thank you again for coming through. With that being the case, y'all, this has been another episode of Introspective Thoughts. As always, be great. I holla.